I'm Emily Mashak, and you're listening to Tuned Into NoCo, Town Square Media show that lets you know what matters in NoCo. I'm talking today with Officer Andrew Brown from the Garden City Police Department about Garden City and their upcoming event, Bootleggin Days. So thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we're here to talk about not only the Bootleggin Days in Garden City, but Garden City itself. We know it's here with us in northern Colorado, but a lot of our listeners might not be as familiar. So what do we need to know about Garden City?
Well, there is a town in between Greeley and Evans. It's about 5 by 6 blocks, and it's the town of Garden City. It was founded in 1938 officially, but 1936 is actually when the ball started rolling. The main history of Garden City is the Prohibition was ending in the 30s, and Greeley still voted to be a dry town. And there were some people that didn't like that, and specifically AFRA, and they got together and decided to basically become their own town and start a wet town, and that allowed the sale and production of alcohol. So they were bootleggers back in the day, and significantly with the days coming up, we've got Bootleggin Days, which is kind of our town heritage month, and to celebrate the creation of Garden City.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Well, let's dive into a little bit about you, Officer Brown, with the Garden City Police Department. Can you tell me just more about the department, your role there, how you found your way there?
Right. Well, forever, Garden City was actually, for a short time, it was policed by the Weld County Sheriff's Office, and then the Greeley Police Department, and at one time the Evans Police Department. But in 2018, the Garden City finally grew up and got its own police department. It was started by Chief Black, who was at one time the youngest police chief in Garden City, or in the state of Colorado. And I found my way there. I was a police officer for a year in Brighton, and I got recruited. I actually started as a reserve officer and found my way. I've been with Garden City for about 3 years now.
Yeah, and what inspired you to get into law enforcement?
It was just I grew up with Rotary International and that service above self, and that's kind of how I found my way into law enforcement. But it's a calling. People just nowadays they feel that need to serve, and this was the best way that I felt that I could serve my community the best.
Right. Well, thank you for your service. And I think we know this year there has been some tensions surrounding law enforcement. But what do you think listeners really need to know about the Garden City Police Department and how they are there for and serving the community?
Well, Garden City is a strong. We're a small police department, but we have 4 officers, and over a year's time period, we average about 3,000 calls for service each year. And, we are a small police department, but yet we are a thriving police department. We stay busy. And we stay busy with everything we do, from the average people calling into dispatch to our personal self-initiated stuff that the police department does.
Yeah, and now let's get into the event, Bootleggin Days. We kind of know how it came about from your history, but what's going on this year? When, where, what do we need to know?
So it's 2 days. It's September 17th and September 18th. Friday, September 17th is our 21 year of age or older night. It's going to have a free motorcycle bike show, along with fire dancers. We have beer, alcohol vendors, and food vendors. We also have a tattoo contest, and we have local shops displaying local product and things like that. And because a lot of Garden City is commercial retail, and so we've got a lot of those folks coming in to debut their products and everything like that. And then September 18th is the day where we want families to, by all means, come by, because we're going to have free kid shows, a magic show, BMX bike show, along with a car show, and our food and local vendors as well. Tons of music, dancing, and it's all sponsored by the town of Garden City.
Wow, that sounds like such a fun event. Do listeners need tickets to go? Can they just stop by?
No, absolutely. It's 100% free to anybody in the community, even Greeley, Evans. You don't have to live in Garden City. Basically, just go to Garden City Town Hall. And I know people are like, wow, Garden City has a town hall. We do. We have a town hall, a separate police department, along with a community center. So stop on by, and definitely it's free to all. So come and enjoy what the town of Garden City has to offer.
Yeah, well, and kind of you've done a great job of explaining it so far, but going off of that, kind of like you said, Garden City sounds like this hidden gem that people may not be aware of. What do you think our listeners really need to be more aware of when it comes to Garden City and their role in Northern Colorado?
Be aware that when you travel down 8th Avenue, there's a little spot there that has tons of commercial retail. And that's, Garden City has about 200 residents, but most of our town is commercial retail. And stop on by, see the shops, and where you see 8th Avenue is all gussied up with the sidewalk lights and everything. That's the town of Garden City right there. We have tons of retailers, from food, auto shops to personal use shops as well, and just tons of opportunities for people to come and explore Garden City.
Yeah, that is so cool. And I know Bootleggin Days is the big event, but is there anything else going on or things people should know about in the future?
Garden City, we do a lot of events each year. I know in the wintertime we do a bonfire night, and we do other events throughout the year. Lots of activities for kiddos, movie at the community center, bike nights pretty much every weekend during the summertime. You can always stay up to date with our Facebook page, or go online to Town of Garden City to see what's going on that week or that month.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming in. It was great for me to learn about Garden City. It's definitely going to be on my road trip list next to check it out. Is there anything you feel like we missed, though, or that you would like our listeners to know?
I don't think so. So it's just come on by and explore Garden City. The best way to explore it is getting out, parking the car and getting out and walking down our streets. We have that's why we gussied them up. It's a great little town. It's really in a town of small towns, because that's what Northern Colorado is known for. Garden City is a hidden gem for people that haven't experienced it.
Well, thank you again so much, Officer Brown. It was great to chat with you.
Thank you.
Again, that was Officer Andrew Brown with the Garden City Police Department talking about Garden City's history and the upcoming event, Bootleggin Days. You can learn more about Garden City and Bootleggin Days at townofgardencity.com.